So today I'd like to take some time and tell you the whole story about the technology that is found in Prodigy 5 and why it's so special. Over the past 2 months, we've tried to share with you small parts of the technology, eating disorders, ailment. And I couldn't believe it. I had never seen someone at that time in my life who was voluntarily not consuming food, who wasn't eating. I had never seen the impact on the life of someone like that. And there was this beautiful 21-year-old girl. She was a top student at Princeton University. She excelled at everything she did. She was attractive. She had friends. She was popular. Her family was accomplished. She had every reason to have a high esteem, in my opinion. Yet she believed that she was not an attractive person. She believed, because of her disorder, that she was fat. And that disorder was so powerful that it caused her to stop eating. And over time, as she ate less and less food, she became sicker and sicker, to the point where she had to be admitted to the hospital, and that's where I met her. Over the course of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we were able to feed her. We were able to begin to provide psychological support to encourage her to eat. And I saw how incredible it is to watch somebody who's been starving blossom in health in just 3 weeks of eating normally. And I didn't see her again for a couple of weeks. Then I started to hear that she had stopped eating and she was home. And a month later, she came in and she looked worse than ever. And she had completely refused to eat. She wouldn't drink anything, no matter what we tried. There was nothing we could do. And I could see her every day get sicker and get sicker. And I remember watching the family. And I remember watching her friends sit there and feel helpless. They didn't know what to do for her. It was an agonizing experience as a young doctor to see somebody who refused help. And I thought to myself, there's got to be an answer here. This should not happen. We've got to find a way to overcome this disease. And that started me thinking about nutrition. And that was the seed that started me thinking not just about the problem of eating disorders and the nutritional impact that that has, but the impact that nutrition has on the world. How can we help people who are having nutritional challenges overcome them? That's what kept occurring in my mind. And the science was there. And as I grew and matured as a physician, I learned more. And the idea became more focused. And after more than a decade, I came to the point where I needed some help. I needed somebody with a different perspective, with possibly a brighter mind than mine. And I was working with Dr. Ambati at the time. And so there was nobody I considered first. I went directly to him. And I told him about what I was facing, about the thoughts that I had, the technology that I wanted to bring. And he didn't hesitate. He immediately took us into the laboratory. And that was 2 years ago. And since then, we have laboratory data. We've developed this technology. We continue to study this technology. We currently have cells growing right now as we speak, back at the lab. And that was the beginning of something amazing. And this is the beginning of something amazing. So with that introduction, I'd like to talk to you about Prodigy 5. The solution to the problem of malnutrition, and that means whether you are somebody who is poor and can't have access to good foods, or you're somebody who is not poor but chooses horrible foods that aren't good for them. They both share a problem, malnourishment. And Prodigy 5 helps both. And the technology in Prodigy 5, called Trans-Armor Nutrient Technology, that's the technology that Bala, Dr. Ambati, and I developed. Thank you. Taken together, this is a perfect synergy. There are 4 components to Prodigy 5. The first is the micronutrient formula. That is all of the vitamins and minerals that we should be taking, not just sick people, you and I. There's nobody in this room, including myself, who should not be taking this on a daily basis if they want to live a healthy life. Everyone can benefit from this. Healthy, sick, borderline, everybody can benefit from this. So as Bala, Dr. Ambati explained, we used science. We looked at the science and we decided, based on the best data available in the world, what we would include in Prodigy 5, and we picked those ingredients. If there was no data for including it, we excluded it. We kept it out. There was lots of pressure to put some different vitamins in, but there was no data to do it. And if there wasn't powerful data to compel us to include it in this formula, we excluded it. It has the best data available for the inclusion of all of these things. There is a second part. It is an antioxidant formulation. And we'll talk more about each of these, but antioxidants are almost a household name. They help us fight something called free radicals. A free radical is simply a molecule that's bumping around in your body that has lost a charge. It has a charge where it shouldn't have a charge. And because of it, it's bumping around in your body looking for something to take a charge from. And as it steals a charge from a healthy cell or a healthy molecule, it causes illness. And this is something that's a serious problem. So the more antioxidant power that we can deliver in Prodigy 5, the better off all of us are in terms of our health. I've talked about this. These studies and more, the Journal of the American Medical Association, Vitamins for Chronic Disease Prevention, the Age-Related Eye Disease Study 1 and 2, and the Women's Antioxidant Folic Acid Study. These and hundreds of additional references were used to pick each nutrient in Prodigy 5. It was critical that we address women specifically. Too many products try to take women's special problems and to mix them into one formula, but women have their own problems. They are different than us. I found that out as a very young man. Okay? Women are different, and women have special needs. And we went out of our way to ensure that this product served those needs. I talked about antioxidant profile and the free radical and free radicals. There's powerful science. There's very strong evidence that almost any disease, whether it's a cancer or an autoimmune disease, you name it, there is evidence that free radicals play a part in that. So if free radicals can have such a powerful impact on almost any disease state, it is incumbent on us. It is our responsibility that we include a powerful antioxidant profile. And there's nothing that's even close to this. Let me explain why. Pomegranate, you can study it. There's plenty of data, hundreds of studies that show that pomegranate, and this is whole pomegranate, has powerful antioxidant properties. You can study raspberry, same thing. There's plenty of evidence. We've studied raspberry, whole raspberry, for decades. Phytoplankton, no one knows more about phytoplankton than this company. I've studied it for 8 years, going on 9 years. It is a nutritional powerhouse. If you look at the nutritional breakdown of phytoplankton, you will see that there isn't a single nutritional element that is required for the health of the human body that isn't there. It's perfect. And it's a powerful antioxidant. But then we have curcumin, and this is one word, so there's a slight typo. Curcumin, one word. It's a derivative of turmeric. It's yellow. And our bodies absorb it very poorly. We absorb it very poorly. But with the TransArmor nutrient technology that is built in to Prodigy 5, it increases the absorption of curcumin, one of the most powerful antioxidants, by 2,000%. Without the technology, without the TransArmor nutrient technology, curcumin is a wonderful herb. It's a wonderful addition to your diet. It provides wonderful antioxidant effects, anti-inflammatory effects, others. With the TransArmor technology, this becomes the most powerful source of antioxidants that I know of. And that brings us, thank you. And that brings us to the next part, the next item in the Prodigy 5 description. And that is the TransArmor nutrient technology. It has 2 phases. All of you have seen one phase. Even in this video, you only saw one phase. There are 2 phases. They've always been there. The first phase I'm going to talk about right now, we studied last summer in the university. And we obtained beautiful data that showed that it had excellent effects. What is that first phase? Let me share it with you. Phase 1 I call the immediate phase. So when you drink your Prodigy 5, there's something that happens immediately. There are effects on our bodies the moment it crosses our lips that include making all of the elements of Prodigy 5 available to the vascular system. It permits immediate delivery of Prodigy 5 and everything in it to the cells of all vital organ systems. It avoids digestive issues that can degrade absorption. And it helps to provide a prompt energy boost. And that is because it has this immediate effect. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. Here's an image. This is an X-ray image. It's taken from this side, like this. Actually, let's do it like this. There we go. So it's taken from here, my mouth. When you swallow, it goes down. Okay. You can see the skull up here. You can see the neck. But you see that the first thing that happens when you drink Prodigy 5 is that the mouth is full. It gets full. And there are two compounds that we identified. They're both cholic acids that prepare these tissues to immediately absorb the nutrients contained in Prodigy 5. I was talking about it in the last slide. But here is the image of it. And this hopefully helps you to understand when you see how full and how every small compartment, every, what we say, a nook and cranny, every small part of the mouth is full completely with Prodigy 5. And everywhere it touches inside the mouth, there you get absorption. Thank you. Thanks. That's the first phase of Prodigy 5. We get immediate absorption. Okay, let's talk more about the structure and function of trans-armor technology. We have phase 2. Phase 1, the immediate phase. Phase 2 involves the use of two molecules. The first one is this one you see right here. This first view, you're looking straight down the molecule. The molecule kind of looks like this. And you're looking straight down it. This other version, you're looking at the molecule like this. Okay? This is a cyclic sugar, naturally derived, completely natural. But please notice that there is a gap. There is a space, a big space, right in the middle of that. You can see it in both drawings. The second molecule there are two molecules I mentioned. This is the second one. It is this molecule that does the heavy lifting, the hard work that actually results in increased absorption of the nutrients in Prodigy 5. Okay? But together, they work as a team. You saw the video, which was beautifully done. I thought Dan did a beautiful job showing you in an animated way how this technology works. But in solution, when you introduce these two molecules, the chemical components of each of these cause them to be attracted. Inside this space, it loves to associate with hydrophobic molecules, molecules that don't like water. So when you mix these, the second molecule actually enters this space. And that's what we want. We want that second molecule inside the first one protected. And there you go. Okay. So when they come together, when the first molecule, piperin, comes together with the cyclic sugar, there is a protective mechanism that occurs. If this piperin is carefully insinuated into this space, then it's surrounded and protected. As we swallow Prodigy 5, this is the complex that goes with all of the nutrients. This coupled complex here. So we swallow it. I showed you the picture. In that first bit of Prodigy 5 that we swallow, what's in there? Well, we talked about it. There's the vitamins, there's the minerals, there's the antioxidants, and there's the technology. And anywhere this technology goes, it will set up an environment for increased absorption of nutrients. Okay, here's some more x-rays. The first one I showed you was over here. This is the esophagus. This line you see here, it's the esophagus. It's the tube that goes from your throat to your stomach. And when you swallow Prodigy 5, it goes down to the stomach. Here you can see it starting to enter the stomach. Here you can see it in the stomach itself. What is the stomach doing? What's its function? Function of the stomach is to create a very harsh environment. It's there primarily to protect us from toxic materials. The stomach has a pH of 2. You put something with a pH of 2 on your skin, it will burn you. It's full of hydrochloric acid. If we swallow piperin, that active molecule, without that protection, what happens to the piperin? It gets chewed up. The stomach breaks it down. But it's protected because of the first molecule. You have it surrounded and protected as it transits through the stomach, and eventually it comes out in the small intestine. This is the beginning of the small intestine. And right here in the small intestine is where all of the magic happens. It is the small intestine where all of the absorption occurs for nutrition. And as this trans-armor nutrient technology migrates into the intestine, the protecting mechanism begins to break down because it's facing the hydrogen, it's facing enzymes, it's facing a harsh environment, and the piperin is released. But the piperin has been protected, and the piperin is now pristine. And the piperin can go to work in the environment of the intestine to prepare the intestine for absorption of nutrients. No matter what we eat, whether it's an orange that has been grown from the finest pedigree seeds in the finest soil on earth, we can only absorb a percentage of what we eat. No matter what meal we consume, we absorb a portion of what we consume. With this technology, we augment and increase the delivery to the body of nutrients by between 30 and 70% for most nutrients. And in some rare cases, like curcumin, 2,000%. So our technology prepares the intestine to absorb everything in Prodigy 5. All of those specially chosen nutrients are absorbed. They're delivered to the body. What does the piperin do? So I've painted this picture, and we've seen images of this trans-armor technology. Piperin is now free in the small intestine. What does it do? Well, it shuts down the delivery of enzymes that would further break down piperin. It protects itself. It works through the suppression of first pass effect through the cytochrome P450 system. All that means is that the breakdown of nutrients that often happen in the liver are suppressed to a degree so that more nutrients are absorbed. Vessels in the wall of the intestine dilate, preparing the intestine to absorb more nutrition. And the cells in the intestine, they are also prepared. Each and every cell in the intestine is prepared to absorb more efficiently everything in Prodigy 5. It does it through something called active transport and passive transport, but there is an increased delivery. Now, you've seen earlier the list of nutrients that we included in Prodigy 5. This isn't the list. These are additional nutrients that we have strong data that shows that the technology, the TransArmor technology, also increases delivery of all of these. All of the amino acids that you see there, all of these minerals that you see there, all of these very useful herbs. This is used for people who want to control sugar. Ginsenosides are used for many things. Anti-inflammation. They're used for male and female sexual dysfunction issues. With phenolads, they're derived from trees, curcumoids. They're powerful antioxidants. All of these herb-derived nutrients are absorbed more readily because TransArmor technology, nutrient technology, is there. So, I'd like you to think about it. Prodigy 5 is for everyone. If you want to have a healthy body, if you want your body to have the premier, the most important nutrients to maintain health, please use Prodigy 5. Please share it with your family. I certainly will. But there are also 2 billion people on Earth that suffer from malnutrition. If any of you have contacts in impoverished nations, this can make the difference between being sick or healthy. If you eat a meal, if you're impoverished and you have a small meal, and you can augment the absorption of the nutrients in that meal by 30 to 70%, there can be a massive shift in your health. There's also opportunity for folks, for people who find fitness, bodybuilding, exercise. Many people in the world want to have extremely healthy bodies, and they use supplements. It's a huge industry. By taking Prodigy 5 with those supplements that include these nutrients, they are augmenting the value of those supplements they're taking. So again, Prodigy 5 is for everyone and for general health. It's amazing for eye health, but it also has other value. And it's up to you to look at this and to put it into your life and figure out the best way that you can share this product and how you can change lives. For me, one of the most beautiful things about this whole Prodigy 5 push, this whole Prodigy 5 project, is the fact that it all fits in a little envelope. When I think about seeing patients, touching the lives of patients, I could work every day, 24 hours a day, and I would see a small fraction of the patients that lives I can touch if I'm standing here in front of you and saying, help me to touch lives. Use this system to reach out to the whole world. There's no reason that you can't do that. So I challenge you, I ask you to take this as a responsibility. You can change lives, your life, families' lives, and to use this and to reach out to the world with the envelope system that Ron Williams has given us and make a difference in the world. Thank you.